Hello, it's Relic, and I thought I'd do this video because I really was a big, supporter of the VCS, and I recently sold my system, and it it was not really bittersweet. I usually kind of feel bad when I get rid of something that I've collected, and it's not against anybody who wants to keep it. If you want to keep and you have one or you're thinking of getting one, I hope the information I have for you is helpful. Uh, as far as the hardware is concerned, I think it's really well made. I think the way they package the box and all the hardware to it, the way the UI works, all those things I feel like are very well done and well thought out. It's just the content that you get in it is very lacking for the money you put out to get it. I know the price has come down, but in this day and age, we have so many options um, that you can pretty much get every single game that's on there elsewhere. And for me, it was just becoming more of like something to put on display, not really something I really was using. Yes, you can use it as a PC, but again, there's other options that do a better job of being a PC than it. So you're kind of limited on every front. You're limited as a PC. You're limited as a game console because there's not many games on there. And that's what ultimately made me decide that it really wasn't for me anymore. If you're like really curious and you want to get one and you want to try it out, I mean, by all means, go for it. I mean, you'll have fun with it, but you'll find that it kind of loses its shine really quick because you're really just checking each month to see what's going to show up on the store. Usually you're going to be disappointed, not because the games they put on there are not good. It's just that the amount of games that keep coming out on it has declined over time. It had like about a game a month or a week, and then it went down to like a game a month, and now it's like we're in 2023 and I don't even know if another game's come out on it. They keep saying there's games coming, which is great, but I also see all those games show up on either on a Switch or on Steam Deck through Steam. And that's mainly the thing that's kind of changed my approach to gaming, is that I have one device. I'm kind of down to two devices that can do everything. And they're portable too. So if I want to take them on the go, I'm out of town or go on a trip. Sometimes I take a road trip and I want to sit and my wife's driving. I can, she's driving, for a few hours. I can sit down and play a game. It's just a nice option. And that's the same with the Switch. There's just so many games. There's over 4,000 games on Switch, and there's like at least 3,000 games on Steam, maybe more. That number's always changing. But when you add up in 2 years, there's only been about 54 games released on the VCS. It's not a very good feeling to be paying money for a device that doesn't have a lot. Yeah, you can put Windows on it and then use it as a PC that way, but in this day and age, most people already have a PC, or you can get a laptop. You can get an affordable laptop. It'll do pretty much everything it'll do, and then you're back to being portable again. There's just too many options, and the math just doesn't add up, But I mean, if you're into collecting and you want to have it and put it in your room, that's kind of what I was doing, and I thought it was cool for that. The classic controller was really fun for certain games, but again, it just wasn't getting used. And I'm kind of that way. If I have stuff that I'm not using that much of and I'm just not playing with them, I'm going to get rid of them. And that's what I did with my arcade 1-ups. I only have like 2 left out of the 8 I had. Just wasn't using them, It was, had a great idea with it and just didn't get used as often as I wanted to, and felt that I could use the money elsewhere. And that's what I did with the VCS. You're going to have also a problem if you own one and you put games on it, which is typical with anything digital, is that you have to pretty much give your account to the other person. but your email is going to be tied to it, and there's no way to remove that. You have to basically just swipe the whole thing clean. So I made a deal with the guy I sold it to that he could have all the games with my email attached, but you won't have any banking information. So I was at least trying to be nice and pay it forward to the next guy. And, you know, for the deal, I got basically my money back from the hardware I bought, but I basically gave the games for free. But that's something you have to think about too in this day and age. If you're collecting an all digital system, you have to realize that you're not going to ever be able to sell those games. And that's the same with the Steam Deck. I get that. And with the Switch, if you buy games digitally that way, that's just the world we're living in. So it's not anything against Atari. As far as Atari's concerned, like, I think the console, like I said, is really well made. And I really was hoping there'd be a little bit more homebrew support, you know, indie dev support. There just really wasn't that much. There's some, but not nearly as much as I was expecting. I kind of had that feeling it would be like the Spectrum Next that they came out with. They kind of like have a lot of, you know, dev support, or like itch.io, I think that's how it's pronounced. If you go on there, there's like all these games. It would have been great if that was connected to Atari, like maybe a way to get those developers on there. That's kind of what I was expecting it to be, you know, more, not so much like, oh, I got to get a AAA game on it, or it has to have, you know, and I wanted exclusive games on there too. But unfortunately, they never got there with that. Every game that they produced for it has been available elsewhere. There's been some little things in there that you could see, like little Easter eggs, I would say, that were exclusive to that game, but that not really an exclusive, you know. And that's kind of what I was hoping with it. Kind of goes hand in hand also with like the Amico. Like I was, you know, the Amico would attract me to it was just the uniqueness of it and the fact that the games were supposed to be all exclusive. And I got to play that, and those were the kind of games I was hoping to find Atari do, that they would come to that system and you have to own that system and play them only there. And that would be the main draw of owning it, like any past system. If you've collected consoles in the past, you would know that, you know, there would be certain titles you could only play on that system. But Atari isn't offering that. So again, to me, it's just, if you want to play those games, you know, go buy a Switch or a Steam Deck, or if you already have a PC, play them on Steam, because most of those games, pretty much every game is available elsewhere, and that really was kind of the nail in the coffin for me. So I hope this is helpful. Again, no shame on anybody else who wants to keep it and wants to enjoy it. More power to you, but it just wasn't for me. Have a good one.